The biggest difference between people who win and people who don't in our industry all boils down to their attitude. What does your attitude look like in the good, bad, and ugly? And remembering that this is a leadership figure, like this is a leadership position. It is so important how you handle things. People are watching 24/7. You are the example. I graduated from Eastern Kentucky University with my degree in broadcasting and electronic media. I wanted to go into news and news reporting, but my senior year, one of my professors pulled me aside and told me I shouldn't do that. He said, you'll make significantly more money and your career will absolutely boom if you personally go into sales. So I was like, oh man, funny to say that as I'm a senior and not a freshman. But when I graduated, I moved back to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I did not want to relocate, nor did I want to public speak. So I was like, news just isn't probably for me. So I started working for the airline industry and quickly realized there was no growth in that whatsoever, and that just was not appealing to me in the least. And so I quickly realized I wanted a position where I could continue to move up and use my head and put a lot of effort into things. I watched my dad run a couple different businesses, and I absolutely did not want to do that. I watched how much responsibility he had, and I thought, man, there's a reason it's better to work for somebody else. Let that be somebody else's problem. Never did I want to own my own company. But then as I got more educated, it all just started to add up really quick. My sister's 10 years younger than I, but I also have a sister who's 21 months older. So my older sister, Kelly, and I, she's watched our two different careers. And my sister is a nurse practitioner, whereas myself, I started in this 7 years ago. Now, the company makes well over $250,000 a year, and it's been awesome. Like I'll do this in my sleep. I wake up, I do it, at night we do it, like game on. So I think Lauren just really watched how much I enjoyed this. And so originally she had followed Kelly in the medical field. And she spent one day in the hospital and she was like, wait a minute. And because I am 10 years older than her, on her, when she was 15, she woke up to a family trip to London, paid for completely by me. She's 15 years old looking at that, like, what in the world do you do for a living? And so now she's more educated on what we do, and she decided to join. Two of the biggest influences on me, I do have to say, is my dad, right? Watching his entrepreneurial spirit and honestly, how big he thinks has just been incredible. But I am beyond blessed to have my mentor, and she has helped me through thick and thin, up and down, all the way around. I really can't thank her enough for the effort and time that she has put into me. I think the most important skill here is identifying who is your top 20% and then making the good guys feel very special, right? Investing your time, your energy, your effort, your knowledge, your wealth, whatever it may be, into these guys and watching them take it and run with it. And those top 20% of people will highly influence the rest of your team. So identifying who is the top and then being the biggest servant leader possible to make sure you're always the right example. How you identify who the top is by who's putting in the most effort, right? When you throw the ball, who catches it? Who's there first? Who's asking for more? Who's telling you they want the right things and their actions show you that they want those things too. Watching my dad, run companies was a little terrifying, right? I understood how much responsibility and time went into it. The biggest system that we put into place that has helped immensely is that everything has a time and date, right? So there's a time you submit payroll. There's a time the schedule comes out. There's a time that you break down days. There's a time that you make sure all the checks are handed out. Like there's a spot for everything, and if for whatever reason you notice that something slipped through the cracks, all right, where do we factor that in so that it's wash, rinse, repeat? My favorite part about my career is, it's one thing to reach a lot of financial success yourself, and it's one thing to build a company that's yours, but it's a whole nother feeling to teach somebody who's willing to learn, who's excited, who trusts you, the ropes and have them take on another firm. So it's just been incredible to watch your teaching pay off, and that's everything to me, is the people that allow me to be their mentor. I'm so excited to see them win.